It was a bright Saturday morning when HOA Karen decided to take her obsession with control to a new level. This time, the target was my golf cart. Not just any golf cart, mind you. It was a custom electric model I had spent months modifying, decked out with leather seats, upgraded suspension, and a state-of-the-art navigation system. To Karen, however, it didn't matter. In her eyes, it represented yet another opportunity to assert her imaginary authority. Karen's first move was classic. She stormed up my driveway, waving her arms and yelling, claiming that I had stolen her brand-new luxury car. The problem? I didn't even own her car, and she had absolutely no proof that it was anywhere near my property. But to Karen, evidence was optional. Outrage and theatrics were her preferred tools. Before I could intervene, she had already dialed 911, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and urgency. "I need immediate assistance. Someone's stolen my vehicle, and it's in my neighbor's garage," she screamed into the phone. By the time the operator asked for details, I had calmly walked up behind her, my arms crossed, waiting to see how far she would take this absurdity. When I finally spoke, I held up my golf cart with a casual grin. "You mean this? I've been working on this for months. Your car isn't here." Her face drained of color. "And no, that can't be. This is," she sputtered, gesturing wildly at the cart. I leaned in, still smiling. "You called the police over my golf cart?" Karen's words faltered, and for the first time, she seemed genuinely unsure. Her reputation as the neighborhood enforcer depended on intimidation and fear, but here, neither tactic worked. I was calm, confident, and completely within my rights. Within minutes, the police arrived, responding to her frantic 911 call. The officers were polite but professional, asking her for proof of ownership and details of the alleged theft. Karen could only provide frantic claims, wild gesticulations, and a shaky voice. When the officers examined my golf cart, it became immediately obvious that her accusations were baseless. The VIN, registration, and customizations all belonged to me. Karen's panic escalated. She realized that her usual tactics, yelling, pointing fingers, and calling emergency services, had not only failed but had also made her look ridiculous in front of law enforcement. One officer even asked her to step aside as they completed their investigation, leaving her muttering under her breath. But the chaos wasn't over yet. Determined to salvage her self-image, Karen attempted to rally neighbors to her cause, claiming that I had stolen her car and that I was somehow part of a larger conspiracy. Her neighbors, familiar with her past antics, merely shook their heads and walked away. By this point, Karen was completely isolated, trapped in her own delusions. I decided to add a little poetic justice. I invited the officers to inspect the entire garage, pointing out that everything in my property was legally mine, from the golf cart to the rare vintage cars I collected. Karen's claims crumbled further under the scrutiny. She tried to argue, but each attempt was met with polite corrections from the police. Her credibility was gone, and she knew it. After what felt like an eternity for Karen, the officers finally thanked me for my cooperation and left. She remained standing on the driveway, pale and flustered, realizing she had been thoroughly humiliated in front of the neighborhood, the police, and herself. The irony was almost delicious. She had called emergency services in a fit of rage, only to discover that her accusations were entirely false. From that day on, the story of HOA Karen calling 911 over my golf cart became a favorite tale among the neighbors. It was repeated at barbecues, local meetings, and even casually in passing on the streets. Her arrogance and obsession with control had been spectacularly exposed, all because she underestimated my rights, my calm demeanor, and the absurdity of her own behavior. By evening, I drove my golf cart around the property, watching the sunset over the lake. Karen had retreated to her home, nursing her bruised ego, while I enjoyed the quiet satisfaction of knowing that sometimes patience, preparation, and a little bit of calm authority are all it takes to turn chaos back on those who thrive on it. Karen had met her match, and it wasn't force or aggression. It was simply knowing your rights and letting the truth speak for itself.